Hi guys, it's Miss Rosenberg, and I'm here to teach you about ancient Greek and Roman geography, so stick around. Hi guys, and thanks for tuning into ancient Greek and Roman geography for this week. So when I think of Greece, I think about their beautiful coastlines, but some people tend to think about the ruins that exist there, so the things that used to be there and the things that are there today. Similarly with ancient Rome. But today, ancient Greece is kind of a, or Greece in general, is a blend between the ancient world and the modern world. And the same would apply for ancient Rome, which is located in Italy. So, thinking about ancient Greece's geography, we know that ancient Greece is still like modern Greece today, which is a peninsula, meaning it is surrounded by water on three sides. So, there's water to the east, water to the west, and water to the south. The north is Europe, but in this watery area, they have a lot of coastlines and a lot of arbors, and they also have about 1,000 islands. This region is very mountainous, where all this area is yellowy orange. That's where mountains would be. So it's very mountainous, meaning there's not a lot of areas to farm or plant food. And there's volcanoes as well. Similarly, Roman geography is uh, super similar. They are peninsula as well. Mountains run down the center and block the north. So once again on the map, it's this lighter area up here, and in the center, they would be considered mountains that would affect Roman geography. There's a lot of rivers, there's a lot of coastlines like Greece and islands and volcanoes. However, in Italy, they have more valleys and more plains, meaning farming's a little bit easier. So, when thinking about ancient Greece, they had a lot of city states that were separated from one another. They might have had a group living on one side of an island and then another civilization way on the other side of the island, closer to Europe, and one out in the sea. So this means they relied on trade a lot in order to get the resources they need and to stay in contact with other people. They adopt the phonetic alphabet as a way to be able to communicate with people more consistently. And the phonetic alphabet, which are these symbols up here, end up becoming our modern alphabet today. Um, the way they used their land there, since it was so mountainous, like we see in the photo, that's a photo of Mount Olympus. um, they often would use the land that they got large plots of for very sacral purposes. So they built temples to thank the gods on a lot of these lands and housing where they could build altars in their houses. However, farming was possible. It often just had to be done on hillsides, like in this photo. In ancient Italy, it's pretty similar in the sense where they also have mountains that affect the geography ultimately of the region. However, if we look at this photo from space, we can see that the mountains that run along the center and the north end up creating a valley in Rome that is called Po's Valley. Po's Valley is really great and it's really important for farming. There's a lot of fresh soil that's there, and it makes just farming really easily done. So in the photo next to it is a map of the seven hills, which would be the mountains located in the north. So that's just what that means. Below is a photo of Roman troops. They had a really strong and large army. They were really focused on protecting their society and their civilization. And lastly, they also built a lot of temples, but they also really valued socialization and socializing with their friends and getting the latest gossip. So instead of building solely temples and places of worship, they also built these things called bathhouses, which is where you would go take a bath with your friends and talk about the latest drama. Um, they're more similar to the modern day pool than they are to a bath, but they would just call them baths. So some similarities that exist between both Italy and Greece is that they both have volcanoes. So below we see a photo of the Methana volcano, which is in Greece, and then we also see Mount Etna's volcano to the right, which is in Italy. So Mount Etna is a volcano that erupted a couple years ago, but in ancient Italy, there was a volcano that erupted in a town called Pompeii. Pompeii is a famous story about this volcano that erupts and then covers a city in ash. It's really dramatic, it's true, it's unbelievable. I would highly recommend reading more about Pompeii if you guys get the chance. Lastly, we're going to talk about the climate. So Greece and Italy, because they are so similar, they also have pretty similar climates. If you want to be able to contextualize or think about the climates more in relation to America, they're very similar to Northern California, so near San Francisco. They have very similar climates there. Greece, their summers were very hot and dry. Their winters are mild and windy, but due to the climate, rivers could not be counted on for transportation, meaning they would dry up in the summer and overflow in the winter. Italy had very mild and rainy winters, but really hot and dry summers. It was easier to farm in Italy, making it easier to feed their people, and they too grew wheat, grapes, and olives. And in this photo, we can see the difference kind of between um, what ancient Greece would have looked like when it comes to housing and how much less area they have for farming as compared to somewhere like ancient Italy, where they would have had a lot more area to farm. I hope you guys learned something a little bit more about ancient Greek and Roman geography. Please send us your work. Let us know how you're doing. If you guys too decide to dress up like someone from ancient Greece or ancient Rome, please send it to us. We'd love to see it. We hope you and your families are staying safe out there. And see you next week.